Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Postgame Show, powered by Primanti Bros. I, of course, am your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Dougie Fresh. Doug, the Pirates lose today on a Mitch Keller start. After all the offense coming out last night, they lose 3-0 to the Nationals today. Doug, not a great game.
No, not a great game. But what we saw tonight is real versus what we saw last night. Last night was just an aberration, a fantasy, a myth. There aren't enough necklaces in the world. There's not enough juju, not enough mojo to make this team hit, or field effectively, or have any kind of excitement or anything. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, repeating the same things over and over again, but it's a terrible team that cannot hit. Seems like they have no idea how to play baseball. I want Jack Sawinski gone just so he and O'Neill Cruz don't collide and kill each other. Right? Man. And it's just every single time a ball's hitting their direction, it's your heart's in your throat thinking someone's going to be hurt here. So, and that's after a 2-hit game by, Jack bringing his average up, I believe, to 161 now. What is it? 156. So
close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong. It is already April 15th, and we're sounding like broken records because it's essentially the same thing every game.
Right. It's hard to put an original spin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, you can record our last podcast we did together and hit play, and it's probably the same thing. Because I do recall saying something that time as well, where I feel like every other game, you have a moment where you just look and say, "Do these guys ever play baseball before?" And right. Like, the communication is such a problem. I mean, the defense alone is bad by itself. Just the fundamental sound, able to play defense. Like, I don't know, Tommy Pham catching a fly ball in right field. That, or I don't know, the communication between third base, shortstop, and left field that happened tonight, or the communication between O'Neill Cruz and Sawinski, like you mentioned tonight too. Like, just every like portion of what baseball is, the Pirates just fail at. Like, I don't know how much unless the pitching. The pitching has been solid. And tonight we're going to talk about too, but Mitch Keller, 3 earned runs. It wasn't the greatest game from him by any means, but like, it wasn't poor, and it was 3 runs. And he gave up those 3 runs. Like, when he gave up the final 2 in that inning before he went out right in the 6th, it just felt like, well, that's it. I mean, 1 run, maybe the Pirates can look into something, but when it was 3-0 when he left, you just felt like, well, this is it. I mean, Jake Irving, he looked like
I'm sorry. Who? Right. I've never heard of him. Yes. Who looked like Greg Maddux in the way the Pirates. It's right. Keller, he was not lights out. He had that wonderful 4th inning, very, very efficient.
Oh yeah,
he gave up the leadoff home run. Yeah, he gave up the leadoff home run, and that's fine. That guy's tied for the James Wood is tied for the lead in home runs in National League. He then wasn't great, but he was getting out of it. He overcame a few mistakes by his defense, and it was really predictable what was going to happen after he hit Paul DeJong. Those are not the kind of things he shakes off very effectively, but he still went 6 innings and gave up 3 runs. It was a quality start, as one of the old metrics goes. He was okay, and again, I mean, that was a terrible scene to look at. You know what I'm saying? And you would sit there and watch blood gushing from a guy's face that you just hit. So whatever, he gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. He did his job. The bullpen did their job. Tim Mayza had to get 5 outs, to get out of his inning. But this offense I think the defense, as bad as it was, did not really cost us anything because the pitching was good. But this offense is just, it's gross, man. It's disgusting. It,
It is.
uh,
It is. And like you said, I mean, it starts off. It wasn't a cutter. I'll give him that. No cutters today, Doug. But it was a four-seam fastball. James Wood is good. He's young. He's super talented, and he had a fine season last year as his call-up, and he's starting off this year with a tear. Like you said, he's now tied with the most home runs in baseball with, I think, like 10 other guys, it looks like, with 6. But, yeah, I mean, he's playing very, very well. So, like, you know what? Kudos to James Wood on that pitch. He got a hold of it. It was a home run, starts it off 1-0. But that was like an interesting first inning too, because then Keller goes and strikes out Ruiz. Then he walks low. Then he gets a ground out. Then he gets a pop out. It's out of there. Whatever. First 2 innings, like I said, he was looking pretty decent, throwing a little more pitches than you wanted. But then he needed to come in, like you said, with the fourth, which is a 5-pitch inning. So help get that down. Maybe he's going to be more efficient. Maybe he's going to go deeper into the game than just the 6, which you wanted to see. Because he was, again, like he was pitching fine. And all in all, like I said, when it's end of the day, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned. It was off 6 hits, 2 walks, struck out 3. Didn't have much of the swing and miss today. Like I said, he wasn't looking that effective today in that regard. But like you mentioned, quality start. It just that just is what it is. Like he had give up 3 earned runs. You should not, as a baseball team, look and say we allowed 3 earned runs, and that's an insurmountable task for us to overcome.
Right. It's again, Washington has one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball. Right. If your pitcher gives up 3 innings, you should be able to overcome that. Right. It definitely wasn't Keller's best outing, but by no means would you say that, oh man, this loss is on Keller. Right. He again, his circumstances were a little strange. They can't hit. Right. They're awful. They can't string hits together. They don't get guys on base. They don't move. They've stopped running. When guys do get on base, they don't run anymore. It's again another illusion, an early season illusion that Derek Shelton teases us with the last week of March, but never to be seen again from April on. It's so weird. The approach to this team is to hit home runs, but they don't have any power hitters, right? But their approach is the old Earl Weaver, sit around and wait for a 3-run homer. But how can you wait for a 3-run homer when nobody gets on base, right? And they can't play small ball either because nobody gets on base. I mean, their options are very limited.
They are, and that was one thing.
This year, it's time to win, Anthony. It's time to win. We've got more
going
depth
back to the Marlins,
at the upper levels.
the Marlins series. That was one thing we did praise them for. I mean, the offense, it wasn't good, but they're getting on base, at least in that series. And you saw a lot of small balls. So it was like, are they going to do this year? Unfortunately, we still don't know. We don't know if they're going to try to play small ball or whatever, because like you mentioned, the team doesn't get on base to show us what they're going to do. I mean, they're not going to hit the long ball. That's for sure. That's quite evident.
We're certain of that, right?
But like, again, like in the Marlins series, they were doing the first part. They were getting on base. They were stealing bases. They were doing that part to make you think like maybe they're going to go small ball route this year. But what they were failing to do was capitalize, right? Get the guy in, right? When you're in the batter's box, making contact, getting the ball into play to make things happen. And they were failing on that regards. And right now they're failing to get on base, to do that stuff. I mean, again, like they're just failing everywhere. Now, I will say this: Cruz led off today. I like O'Neill Cruz leading off. The way this lineup is just purely based off of what they have. You need somebody to lead off. I really don't mind O'Neill Cruz leading off. He's actually has a 120 rated runs created plus for his career. He's done fine there. Like one of our biggest reasons we talked about that back in the day was like to help him for development. He'll probably see better pitches, right? So like him and the lead off and the way he's stealing bases right now and getting on base, and he's walking a good bit. I like that. Now today, he looked awful at the plate though. He had 3 strikeouts. It went over 4. That's not what you want to see. So we didn't set the table. And then Brian Reynolds like continues to struggle as well Also 2 strikeouts. Once again, Jake Irvin.
Yeah. Yeah. Jake Irvin got to pretend he was Paul Skeens for a day today. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's a problem. I mean, this team has very few decent hitters. So if we could find a few, I would try to bunch them all together. I'm not sure that Cruz is ever going to be a massive home run hitter. He does not get that lift on the ball. He hits it hard. And quite frankly, I'm a little tired of talking about how we hit the ball hard. Him and Hayes in particular. Oh, he really smashed it. Yeah, but he smashed it to the shortstop. It's an out. Move on, right? I mean, I know exit velocity is a predicting factor, that sort of thing, but it hasn't been for us over the past couple of years. Not really. So yeah.
Sure.
So if Cruz could hit and continue to get on base and then steal when he gets on. And, again, being a little protected in the lineup by Reynolds, especially when Reynolds heats up a little bit later in the season. Then some sort of mixture of McCutchen, of course, once McCutchen plays an inning, he's not allowed to play for 2 more days. But,
Right.
get McCutchen, playing a little more once Reynolds can play the outfield again. Maybe Horowitz, maybe Nick Gonzalez, maybe Nick York, something, maybe we could string, 3 or 4 hitters together. I mean, it's been a hallmark of the Cherington era that, from 5 through 9, we're going to be terrible. We're just going to accept that. The bats don't play and neither do the defense. We're going to put out bad fielders and, we're going to put guys like Valdez at cleanup. So,
it's everything. And you're talking about 5 through 9. Like, I mean, at least it's 5 through 9. But Doug, the problem also is 1 through 4 a lot of times too. And tonight was quite evident of that, right?
Cruz, tonight it was 1 through 9.
Reynolds
right.
over 4. Hayes over 4. And then Valdez, cleanup Valdez over 4. Like I said in the comments here, the Pirates had 4 hits on the day. And 2 of them came from Jack Sawinski.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, who would have thought that? But
raised his OPS to 477
for getting those 2 hits. But right, like, when you have a lineup this bad, you can't have your 1 through 4 go over. Like, that just can't simply happen. And again, especially when you're seeing a guy like Jake Irvin. But I think, Doug, I get it. I think I realize what happened here.
Do tell.
For those listening to the podcast right now, I have the comment up. Jim picked up Irvin in fantasy.
Yeah.
The Rosati curse lives on, Doug. I'm sorry. You wanted to debate me on this last time.
No. I've been a denier, but
Irvin.
He also bought the necklace yesterday.
That doesn't matter.
Midway through the game, he bought the necklace. So that he killed the necklace immediately. Boom, gone.
Anyhow,
it's it. I'm no longer a denier. I am now a believer in the Rosati curse.
There it is. Let's do something. I said on Twitter we'll do it.
Jim would say it's the Noah Hiles curse. So
it's not. It's not the Noah Hiles curse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jim. It's you. It's been you. It's always been you. You're an awful human being. But as the nice human being, as the nicest person that anyone's ever met here, next to Doug, of course, this game was just so brutal. Let's go ahead and give something away again. And like we did last time, we appreciate all of our members. For everyone who's a member right now, go ahead and drop the North Shore 9 emoji into the chat. We're going to give away 2 tickets to Saturday's game. How's that sound, Doug?
Oh, that sounds excellent, because the game, I'm sure, will be awful. Well, actually, Skeens might pitch, but it is the Skeens bobblehead day.
That it is.
So, I mean, and you saw that sellout crowd tonight. I mean, this is a tough ticket to get. I think at one point I counted up to 11 people. I think I may have counted an usher twice, but I think there may have been 12 to 15 people there. So, it's going to be tough to get a ticket for Skeens bobblehead. And DiNardo, again, nicest guy ever, is going to, after a terrible loss, an awful game, is going to give away 2 tickets to that. Where else do you get that but North Shore 9?
That's it. Jim, that's right. Nowhere else.
Right. Last night, I suggested to Jim that they should give away 8 sandwiches. Completely ignored me. So, again, the difference between Jim he, the owner of the Rosati Curse, and DiNardo is, Jim won't give you an extra sandwich. DiNardo will give you tickets to the Paul Skeens bobblehead game.
I know. I'm giving you a ticket, and you're getting a bobblehead of $1 million card. So, I mean, what's better than that? Nothing. There's nothing better than that. But for real, anyone who's a member on our YouTube, and then if you're not, it's just 99 cents. You can join right now. That allows you to have all the emojis, all the cool stuff. So to give back, of course, anyone who's a member, we're going to give away 2 tickets tonight. You just have to go ahead and pop in that emoji in the chat. So like how you do the raise-its, put in the emoji. That gets you entered. We'll have the raffle here in a bit. But yeah, so let's get back to this game. Fun's over, Doug. Back to lame work.
Back to the reality.
Yeah. So again, we talk about Mitch Keller. Baracki comes in, and look, once again, this bullpen, like it did its job. This is just Ryan Baracki, Kyle Nicholas, Tim Mesa, just the guys that the I don't know, the blue collar guys that do all the dirty work for this team. Just continue to do so. They're like no names, maybe Kyle Nicholas at some level, right? But like these are just the guys that no one was thinking about coming into this year for the bullpen, and they've been good. Baracki looked fine. I know he had a scoreless but no strikeouts. Nicholas, he was himself.
He gave up a leadoff double, but
yeah,
he got out of it, right? I mean, he's got a little bit of what Finnegan has, and Finnegan didn't have it tonight. But Finnegan, it tends to walk people, put guys on, and then get out of it, and that's what I mean. I don't know that we're ever gonna sit there and watch a Nicholas outing and think, okay, 1, 2, 3, no worries. But he's got great stuff. He's still young. Hopefully he can continue to harness it and improve. But again, he did his job. He pitched a scoreless inning. Had we had a lead to protect or, something of those things, this bullpen, it's funny because we're a little worried about it. And it was kind of nondescript except for the 2 big guys. The 2 big guys are now, not on the active roster. And, these, like you said, they're not the sexiest names. They're not the, Tim Mesa, Baracki, Nicholas. You could kind of pluck those out of a lot of different AAA rosters or some other team's roster, but they're doing the job. They're the only part of, no, I guess the starters too, right? But I mean, the pitching is the only thing that is working for this team, and this bullpen. And again, now that we've gotten rid of the 2 guys that were least effective, and I've not given up on them. I hope they can both come back and be effective. That would only make this team better. But yeah, again, no complaints with our bullpen tonight for sure. No complaints with pitching.
I don't know. But yeah, like again, I did want to go to Nicholas here because this is like Nicholas is, like you mentioned, this is why, he didn't have a good start in AAA. I know a lot of people were like talking about why is he still down there? This can't be a serious organization. But like he didn't have a strong spring. I think he had 9 strikeouts along with 9 walks in
9
spring.
Walks. Right.
He was walking everybody, allowing a ton of hits in AAA. He comes up, not the greatest start. And again, like tonight, he got out of it. And also, like again, like this was like the most Kyle Nicholas inning, I guess you could see, as long as it being scoreless, right? He had the walk, lead off double, but then he also was tons of swing and miss. You saw this stuff there. He actually had 5 swing and misses today on 10 swings, 50% whiff rate, right? 3 on the slider, which looked crazy, 2 on the curveball. The stuff is really, really good from Kyle Nicholas. He just doesn't seem to be able to hone it in well, often enough as well. But again, tonight he did his job. You see why there's a lot of talent and why there's reasons to be excited about him as well. And then Tim Mesa, just Mr. I guess steady Eddie to some level. Nothing sexy about him. Not a whole lot of swing and miss.
Nope.
He just comes in and just does the job.
He got 5 outs.
And,
he got 5 outs, right?
Right.
So yeah, he got no help from his defense, and didn't blink and just kept throwing pitches to get people out. So
yep. I was gonna say the fly ball to right field. Tommy Pham's in there, and like it wasn't just like a lazy fly. He had to run a little bit, but there was no diving catch. It was not like out of reach. He just had to run. He had to run to his right, put his glove out, and it just bounced off it. Just couldn't catch the ball.
That's a play I want a high schooler to make.
Yeah. And I put it on Twitter. I was like, here we go. Pirates defense, here it is all over again. And then the very next play, Doug, the ball's hit up and just kind of goes into no man's land. I mean, it really wasn't, but they treated it and gave it to be no man's land.
Three guys should have been able to catch that, and none of them seemed to know where it was. No communication.
They all just kind of stood and watched.
And so this just brings me to, and I won't go off too much, but why not bring Gorski up? Okay, because Tommy Pham's hitting 154 with a 466 OPS. I don't believe that Matt Gorski is going to be a great hitter or anything, but I firmly believe that he can hit 154 and he can have an OPS of 466 and he makes the plays, right?
He absolutely makes that catch.
You got Valdez at first, 182 with a 603 OPS. I believe Matt Gorski can replicate that offense, but he's a better defensive player. He's better on the base pass. Saying, Sawinski, after 2 hits, he's up to 156 and a 477 OPS. I believe that Gorski could replicate that and not threaten bodily harm every time he runs toward O'Neal Cruz. Again, let me stress, I don't think that, we're going to come in, plug Gorski into the 4 spot, and he's going to make the offense go. But at least the plays in the outfield will be a little less exciting.
Yeah. Doug, just to kind of state this here, because I don't want to sound harsh on Gorski because I'm not a believer and his game's going to translate, but I'm going to say the same thing now. And it's crazy. It's early like I was last year, but why not? I'm at that point. Why not? And again, like Billy Cook would agree. Pick one. I actually don't care what.
Yeah, I mean, right. I'm not.
Billy Cook's on the 40 man, so that makes more sense.
Yeah,
Gorski's having a better start. You can have an argument on either, but to me, it's just bring one of them up because both of them can play first, and they certainly can play outfield. Because Doug, there's 2 things in this. There's 2 things here. Endy's on the IL. Basically, you have Valdez and Adam Frazier who are going to play first base. Now, Triolo did have a rehab start today, which he performed quite well in. So I know he's coming back. So maybe the plan's him, which that makes sense to some level. He doesn't have the outfield, at least we think, even though he played a fantastic outfield that one time last year.
One time, right?
But maybe the idea is, okay, Triolo's coming, so that's it. But something has to come up here because there has to be some spark. And again, I don't think the Triolo is really the spark, but to the Gorski thing, to the Billy Cook thing, I don't think they're going to be any worse. And that's kind of the issue. I don't think they're going to be any worse than what you have here. So at least they're going to play defense.
And if they provide plus defense and they're better on the base pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're bringing up athletes who might suck with the bat. Okay. So we've lost nothing there. It's not like they're replacing, Prime Kutch here, 2013 Kutch. No, they're replacing, somebody with an OPS in the 400s, which I think easily replaceable, replicable, that sort of thing. And again, you get someone that can play the position. Because we are the strangest team. We're built on pitching, and then we acquire a bunch of bad defenders, and then take those bad defenders and play them out of position.
Right.
I mean, part of one of the responsibilities of an organization is to put people in positions to succeed. And we're playing, we're playing guys. It just doesn't make any sense that don't play these positions. Or, it's just so odd. It's just so odd to me. Again, I would not be surprised if tomorrow on the way to, stretch for being a DH, they're going to hey, B-Ray, you got first base today, baby. You got a mitt, right? Here, borrow this. It's just, and then he makes, he'll make an error on the wheel play, some sort of bunt type thing. Well, of course, he's not playing this position, and Shelton, Shelton and Charrington just sitting there we just got to do better. We have to execute. Thank you for that brilliant analysis.
And what I'm tired of hearing is what you have to do. Yeah. I need to start hearing hows and whys. I'm tired of what everyone, it's so obvious what you guys need to do. You guys are just terrible.
Yeah.
You guys are awful. So you need to do everything better. So I don't need to hear, we just need to start hitting better. No shit.
Yeah.
How are you going to start doing it? what are you doing? Like how are you going to obtain those results? Because for 5 years, you haven't been able to do it. And that's all we keep hearing is, well, we just need to execute better. We just need to hit better. Yeah,
Shouldn't we
know
be
that.
hearing stories? Shouldn't Hannah and Noah and Stumpf and these guys be telling us like, yeah, the Pirates were out an hour before batting practice today, working on some situational fielding. Oh, look, they all came out early and took extra BP today. I know it's cold, blah 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 blah, but I mean, shouldn't we be hear something, something along those lines that something is being done tangibly, and not just clicking our heels together and saying we just have to be better. You're right. That analysis, we were making that analysis early last season, right? These problems were the same problems that they've had for the entire. And it's still a rebuild, right? It's not a build. We're not tuning up here. We're still rebuilding. We still don't have answers. We're still making the same mistakes, and we're still saying the same old, rhetoric, again and again and again, with nobody seemingly doing anything tangible to make a change.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to go on a tangent, not to keep this like a tangent, but I'll say that no. You brought it up, and I'm glad you did because it's something I was thinking about today because of a comment that was also made. A few comments that led up to this, but I'm absolutely with you, Doug, because you know what it's not that I'm tired of hearing this, right? But like, and this is true. Like this stuff should be learned from much younger. Like you don't get to the majors and then have to learn fundamentals, right? So like Shelton shouldn't be teaching fundamentals. Like that shouldn't be something that you have to do at this stage, right? But my thing is, clearly they don't have it. So you can't just assume it's going to be there and just ignore it. So what are you doing to change that? Because your entire team doesn't know anything about baseball. Right. Like from head to toe, from left field to right field, from the batter's box to the home run to the outfield wall, just they don't understand baseball. You see it time and time again with communication, just simple stuff. They don't know it. So like, do you just ignore it and just say like, you guys should, we don't do that here? Or do you say like, you know what, we're coming in an hour early because you guys are pathetic. This is on you. You did this to yourself. And we are going to learn some fundamentals today because you guys don't have it because this ain't it. Like that's what a leader is. That's what accountability is. That's what taking responsibility for all the failures that you guys have and changing it. And I'm not saying they don't but for the people that want to argue that, then fine. But this team doesn't have those things. So you got to do something to ensure that they do, opposed to just saying, well, they should know this by now. Well, they don't. So do you want to win? Is it time to win? What are you going to do that and make it happen? How are you going to execute? Stop telling us you need to. We know you do. What are you going to do? And then start doing those things. This team doesn't deserve to do what everyone else in MLB does because they're pathetic.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's, part of like the problem here is that Ben Cherington approaches this like we're the Dodgers or the Yankees, and we're doing the same things that the Dodgers and Yankees are doing. Well, that does not make sense for the Pittsburgh Pirates because we don't have those kind of lineups. We don't have the guys that bat, 7, 8, and 9 for those teams would be batting 3, 4, and 5 for us. So again, we're supposed to be looking for little, weaknesses in the market that we can exploit, right? And we're trying to play the same baseball that the Dodgers are. That's just absurd, right? Again, we don't have anyone that can hit home runs, but we have everybody swinging for the fences. You know what I'm saying? So, why aren't we having guys choke up on the bat, slap the ball to the other way, you get on first, move them over, that sort of thing? Because we do have a good pitching staff. If we could score a few runs, we have a chance. But again, we've got a bunch of 160 hitters with no power, swinging from their heels, and it's just absurd to arguing over strikes that just it's just ridiculous.
Right. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's go back to the happy part. So for all those that are maybe just tuning in or haven't done so yet, right? If you are a member, we are giving away 2 tickets to this Saturday's Pirates game. All you guys need to do, whoever wins, just go ahead and email me or DM me, I guess. I prefer Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, whichever. You can email. But I just need your email address because once I get the tickets, which will be Saturday, probably morning or midday, I know it's a 4:00 game. Then I'll be able to forward those over to you. But yeah, so to give back to all of our members, it is just 99 cents. So if you aren't a member yet, you can go ahead and do so. You'll get someone will. We're raffling off 2 tickets tonight for Saturday's Paul Skeens Bobblehead Night. But before we do that, Doug, I guess, are there any last words to this once again pathetic?
No,
game?
I'm being repetitively redundant. Something you don't want to do on a podcast. But yes, I am. Just press play, pick any of the games I've done this year, and yeah, I wish I had something new to add to this. I wish I had I wish I could be Dougie Fresh and have a fresh take, but nope, same old.
Dougie stale over here.
Very, very stale. Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. If this team could do something different, we could be talking something different.
Yeah.
They want to do the same thing over and over and over again and somehow expect different results. I don't know what to tell you. But anyhow, let's go ahead and do it then. Before we go out here, let's go ahead and do this raffle. So we're giving away those 2 tickets. I'm on it, guys. Don't worry. I remember this time. All right. I guess we'll give everyone the last 10 seconds as we always do. And if you are watching on TikTok or Instagram, you got to be in our YouTube or on Twitter, I guess, as well. But basically get on YouTube. Oh, no, you have to be on YouTube because you'll be a member. Jim says the last 2 DiNardo post games, they scored 0 runs. Yeah, well, you know what? On everyone's post game, they've scored about 0 runs. So it's nothing different for me. All right, let's go ahead and do it. We'll do the drawing.
Good luck, guys.
So like I said, I appreciate everyone who's watching, definitely the members, and also our Patreon members as well. That's in there.
No.
You can. Hey, Steel City.
DW. Congratulations.
There it is. You know how to reach me. Go ahead and do so. You got 2 tickets coming up for the Paul Skeens Bobblehead Night. Congratulations.
Or maybe we should apologize. I don't know, right?
Yeah, probably. Hey, you get a bobble card. Ain't got no legs, but you got a bubble card coming.
It's original. It's different. That's for sure.
There it is.
And it's possible that Skeens will start. So, I mean,
it is.
Forget
that
everything else. Cool. I've seen him pitch live twice this year. It's a thrill every time. So
that is possible. And we did watch Ellie hit a grand slam on his bobblehead night. So if Paul's afforded the opportunity to pitch on Paul Skeens bobblehead night, maybe he'll do something unspeakable. What about that? So there you go. Steel City.
Manifest it.
There it is. Do I have that post-game show? I don't. They're not going to score any runs.
Yeah.
Good luck. All right. Let's get out here. We appreciate you all. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, do all the great stuff. Leave us a rating as long as it's good. If it's bad, put on someone else's. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.